Greetings, I am the wrestling fan. I may not be the best wrestling fan, but I am the finest. And welcome to my pick of the month for July 2016. Now, while rifling through my tremendously huge wrestling DVD/Blu-ray collection, I once again came across 3 DVD sets that are 3 of my favorite wrestling DVD sets of all time. That, of course, are the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Sells Out Volumes 1, 2, and 3 DVD sets. If you haven't gotten these, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, get these. They made me a fan of indie pro wrestling, and I guarantee they will for you too. But I came across Volume 3, which is the one I haven't watched as much of. I watched the whole thing from beginning to end, but I haven't rewatched it. I've just gotten distracted or watched other things. And I was looking for a pick of the month for this month, and I came across a really great gem of a match that wasn't even for a championship or anything. It was just 2 guys beating the ever-loving shit out of each other for the audience's entertainment and for my entertainment on DVD. And they put on a very solid contest, and that's why I chose it. So, my pick of the month for July 2016 is Roderick Strong versus Davey Richards from PWG 3 Mendes 2, which took place on July 31st, 2009. Now, once again, I'll say this match wasn't for a championship. It was just 2 guys trying to prove that one was better than the other. They were former PWG Tag Team Champions, and I don't think they really hated each other in this match, but there was a rivalry going on there of them trying to prove who was the better wrestler. And sometimes those are the best rivalries. When there's no title on the line, it's just for respect and to put on tremendous matches. And this was a tremendous match. It's one of those gem of matches that it's not going to be a match of the year or anything. It's probably even going to be forgotten eventually, and that's why I created the pick of the month many years ago, to remember the matches that maybe aren't going to be remembered, like an Austin Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13, or even Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels from Unbreakable, I believe 2005. I'm forgetting the year. I think it was 05, I don't think it was 06, from TNA, their triple threat main event for the TNA Division title. Sorry, TNA X Division Championship. Been a while since I've fully watched TNA, I'm a little bit rusty. But those matches will be remembered, they're match of the year or match of the year candidates. And this match between Roderick Strong and Davey Richards, it's 2 of the best wrestlers on the indies in the world, just trying to outdo the other, and that's why I like this match so much. Roderick Strong was on my mind because he just left Ring of Honor, and I'm not really quite sure what he's doing, if he's going to go over to Japan, if he's going to go back to PWG, if he's taking a rest. I don't know. I'd love to see him in WWE. He's one of the biggest indie talents that I haven't heard much buzz about in terms of eventually going to WWE, and I really wish he would, because, you know, he's smaller in size, but he's one of the best wrestlers I've seen in a long time. I've enjoyed his work in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Ring of Honor, and I really wish he got a break and he'd show up on NXT one day, and hopefully that happens. And same with Davey Richards. I know less about Davey Richards. I know he was like a part of the American Werewolves, if I could say that word, American Werewolves. I guess that's a word I can't really say. And you know, they were a tremendous tag team in Ring of Honor and TNA. I think maybe they're still a tag team in TNA. He's a former Ring of Honor champion and put on just classics there, 5-star matches, you know, and I know very little about him. I've seen very little, but this match made me a huge fan. It really put Davey Richards on the map for me as a fan. Like, I didn't know much about him, and now I'm like, wow, this guy is exactly what I like in a wrestler. He's stiff in terms of how he throws punches and kicks. Calm down, perverts. And Roderick Strong is too. He's very stiff with his work. It was very Japanese style. And these two just, with the chest slaps and the kicks and the hits, and it was intense. It was only like a 15-minute match, and it was intense, and it was fast-paced from the beginning, and wonderful submission moves from Davey Richards, and Roderick Strong, like at the Stronghold, his submission move, which is basically a Boston Crab or Walls of Jericho, but, you know, he had some other submissions as well, and they were just trying to outdo the other, and those are some of my favorite matches, where it's just 2 guys trying to beat the other, and the crowd got into it. You know, PWG crowds are fantastic. I hope to be in one day, and it's just a blast to watch. It reminds me why I like PWG. It re-reminded me why I like PWG so much, and it made me want to watch the DVD sets again. And again, you know, Roderick Strong has kind of been in wrestling news because he's leaving Ring of Honor, not on bad terms. He's just ending his tenure there for the moment. He's done everything there. He's won every title. He's put on classic matches. And once again, I wish him the best. I talked about him in my pay-per-view reactions to Best in the World, the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view. But this match, you know, from the very beginning, both men are just trying to beat the shit out of each other with chest chops and kicks and everything, and it's not slow. It's fast-paced from the very start. And then eventually, you know, it's just what you want in a wrestling match. Just good counters to submissions, counters to great offensive moves. Like Davey Richards did this clothesline while Roderick Strong was down, but he clotheslined him and then also pinned him at the same time. I've never seen that. And you know, I'm sure it's not really innovative, but it was cool. And, you know, Davey just beat the crap out of Roderick. And then Roderick finally came back and got some submissions, and they both got to the ropes, and there were near fall after near fall after near fall. And, you know, I want to go in more detail, but I don't want to ruin the match. I want you to watch it. And you should. You should buy these PWG DVD sets if you can. The first one is getting hard to find, but 2 and 3 are still readily available, and they are awesome. And if you don't know who Roderick Strong and Davey Richards are, you will know who they are because of a match like this. It's matches they put on almost all the time consistently. And that's not easy to do because it's hard to stand out in wrestling, and these two have stood out for many years. And I'll go ahead and say, like, maybe personality-wise they don't stand out, but their wrestling is top-notch. 2 of the best wrestlers on the planet and 2 of the best wrestlers on the indie scene. And that's why I've chosen this match for my pick of the month for July 2016, because it deserves to be watched a lot more by wrestling fans. Now, if you want to watch this fantastic match, please go out and purchase, like I already said, PWG Sells Out Volume 3. I mean, purchase all 3. If you've never experienced PWG, please get these volumes. I'm so lucky that I have them. I would get rid of a lot of my WWE DVDs and even some of my Ring of Honor DVDs just to keep these. That's how good this stuff is. And I think this one, it was the first one to actually have commentary on it, which was nice. The first 2 sets, there were no commentators, at least on the DVD sets. So that was a little distracting, but you get over it because the matches are so fucking good. And this is no exception. This is good shit. Very, very good shit. So I recommend it wholly. And Roderick Strong and Davey Richards is, you know, it's hard to say one of the best matches on the set because it's a lot of fantastic matches, but it definitely stands out, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and that's why I chose it for this month. So, yeah, that was my pick for July 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched the match. Hope you buy the DVD sets, and I will see you in the next The Wrestling Fan video. Later, bitches.